All right, in today's video, we're gonna go over the 5 dangers of overpricing your property. Now, I know that there's a temptation in a market like we're seeing right now, which is a strong seller's market, meaning we have limited inventory, to overprice your home. I want to get the most amount of money possible for my home, so why don't I just try to price it at the top of the market or above the market? Somebody's surely going to come along and buy it, right? Not so fast. We're going to talk about the top 5 reasons not to do that, and I'll explain why now. Number 1, when you overprice your property, what you're doing is limiting the buyer pool, okay? So we're shrinking the number of buyers out there who could potentially be interested in your property down significantly. We've got to understand how people search for properties these days. First and foremost, they're looking for a geographic location and a price point. And so if your property does not come within the price point of what they're even looking at, you're going to miss out on those eyeballs, which are crucial for you to be able to get the top dollar for your property. All right, number 2, we want to avoid overpricing because you're gonna miss out on the frenzy. If your property is properly priced, even in a seller's market, a competitive seller's market, we want to do that because it's going to create more buyers, more scarcity. They're going to want your property more if it's priced where it should be. And then what would end up happening is we get a competitive environment where people are willing to then bid up potentially over asking price and get you the most exposure possible. If you overprice and limit that buyer pool, there's not a frenzy for it. Typically, then a buyer would be able to negotiate more down because there's less people interested in the property. Whereas if you get the frenzy going on your property, that's when the market does a good job of boosting the price of your property as high as possible. All right, number 3, days on market. In our industry, days on market, the acronym for that is DOM, days on market. Something else that we could say is death of money. It's the death of money because the more days that go on market that you have while trying to sell your property, the less negotiating power that you have as a seller. So the higher price point that you are, the above market value, typically the longer that you would stay on the market, looking then at the potential of having price reductions. It's just not a great place to be because the buyer psychology starts coming into play as far as what could be wrong with this property. Even if nothing's wrong, they want to know why nobody else bought it yet. All right, number 4, availability of information. Today's buyer is pretty smart. They have a lot of information that's at their fingertips. They can understand with a lot of the different websites and tools out there what a reasonable price is for property and what an unreasonable price is for property. So if you choose to price your property above market, chances are they're gonna understand that. So you may not even get showings if it's overpriced. And that is just not a good thing to get your home sold. All right, our 5th and final danger here. So appraisals. We have to worry about appraisals. Let's say that you get somebody to come along and buy your property and after it was overpriced, we still have to, in most cases, deal with an appraisal that's part of this process. So the appraiser is also going to go through and do their full due diligence, and it's going to be very difficult for them to be able to justify a price point if there are no comparables to be able to, to make the case. So with everything that we have here, I just want to make sure that we understand how important that it is, even in a seller's market where the seller holds the majority of the negotiating cards, how dangerous it is to overprice. Now, my job as a broker, as a listing specialist, is to help the seller, help you, the seller, understand what the market is and how aggressive we can be in pricing while still selling. Because my goal is to get you the most amount of money possible for your home, but if it doesn't sell, nobody's happy in that situation. So I hope you found these tips very helpful for you in the dangers of overpricing your home. If you could do me a favor and hit that like button below, that will really help YouTube being able to recommend this video, and also hit the subscribe button because that will help inspire me to make more videos for you. Thanks so much.